Okay, welcome to primary. Here is your pattern. Can you watch me? You're going to stomp, stomp, tap, tap, clap, clap, snap, snap, and freeze. If you can't snap, just do the motion. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, and stomp, stomp, tap, tap, clap, clap, snap, snap. I want to be a missionary now. I don't want to wait until I'm grown. I want to share the gospel while I'm young, for I have a testimony of my own. Does anyone feel like they have that pattern already and wants to come on up? Okay. All right, this whole class and you three. Perfect. Come on up. Big line here. Ready? We do. I want to be a missionary now. I don't want to wait until I'm young. Grown. I want to share the gospel while I'm young, for I have a testimony of my own. And freeze. I need one of you to be my partner. Okay, you come be my partner. The rest of you, your partner is the air. So instead of snapping, you're going to take your fists and gently, because we're friends, fist bump each other. So if I was facing my partner, we do that with our fists. Okay, ready? I want to be a missionary now. Freeze. Are your fists touching your neighbor's wrists? Okay, let's do it again. I don't want to wait until I'm grown. Fist bump. There we go. I want to share the gospel while I'm young, for I have a testimony of my own. All right, your invisible partner is not as fun as a real partner. So everybody find a partner. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're facing your partner. Here we go. I want to be a missionary now. I don't want to wait until I'm grown. I want to share the gospel while I'm young, for I have a testimony of my own. Freeze. Are you ready for a little bit harder challenge? Instead of doing everything twice, we'll just do it once. So you'll go stomp, pat, clap, fist, stomp, clap, pat, fist. You need a new partner. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. I want to be a missionary now. I don't want to wait until I'm grown. I want to share the gospel while I'm young, for I have a testimony of my own. Freeze. Isn't it fun when you get to do something with a friend? It's kind of that way with the gospel. We can share the gospel with our friends, and being a friend is one of the best ways to share the gospel. Try to be like Jesus in your friendships. Okay, let's sing it one more time as we go back to our seats. I want to be a missionary now. I don't want to wait until I'm grown. I want to share the gospel while I'm young, for I have a testimony of my own. Okay. What do you see here on the board, on this poster? What do you notice? I see dots, squiggly lines. Some go up, some go down. This one kind of looks like a check mark. If this were a real singing time, you would be giving the answers. Okay, and at the end, we have a couple of shapes here. So hopefully you can see all of that. All right, help me trace these lines, fingers in the air. The temple is a quiet place where heaven touches earth. A reverent place, a hallowed space where we do the Savior's work. I'll stand in holy places with a heart that's firm and true until Christ returns and makes all the world holy, clean, and new. Anything else you've noticed now that we sing along with it? There were some parts where my voice went down and the line went down. There were parts where my voice went up and the line, yes, thank you for noticing that. Oh yes, this matched up with the last 3 words of the song. So I had 3 symbols for the last 3 words. Okay, did anyone notice anything about these words? These words are in the song. So this time pay attention. If you see a dot, we're going to put a word right above that dot. Okay, let's try it again. The temple is a quiet place where heaven touches earth. What was the first word? Temple.
Temple.
And it's backwards. So pretend you're looking in a mirror. Here we go. Temple. Quiet place.
Holy.
Heaven touches earth. If this were a real singing time, I might invite up a whole class to line up, and they will kind of one at a time would place a word and then sit down. Okay.
Yes, she's recording this.
Yep, it'll be recorded. So let's try that first line again. Make sure we have them all in the right place. The temple is a quiet place where heaven touches earth. A reverent place, a hallowed space where we do the Savior's work. What words did we find there? Reverent, hallowed, and Savior's work. And my voice goes up there. Let's try all of those parts. A reverent place, a hallowed space where we do the Savior's work. I'll stand in holy places with a heart that's firm and true. So we have stand, holy places. And yes, the next phrase was a little bit lower, so my words go a little bit lower. Okay, let's make sure we have these in the right place. I'll stand in holy places with a heart that's firm and true until Christ returns and makes all the world holy, clean, and new. We have returns, all the world holy, clean, and new. Let's sing it all together. You sing the words that are on the chart, and I'll sing the other words. The temple is a quiet place where heaven touches earth, a reverent place, a hallowed space where we do the Savior's work. I'll stand in holy places with a heart that's firm and true until Christ returns and makes all the world holy, clean, and new. Did anyone notice anything about the colors now that the colors are on the board? Take a second to think about that. Talk to your neighbor. Do you have any ideas? See if you and your neighbor can come up with any ideas together. Maybe it's about what they're describing. So the first half of the song, and I would take answers, the first half of this song is describing the temple. We do the Savior's work. Heaven touches earth. It's reverent. It's a hallowed space. And what is this part describing, the orange part? Who's going to stand in holy places? I'll stand in holy places. I will. And the temple is a holy place on earth that will help me stand in holy places. It will help me to have a heart that's firm and true. Okay, any ideas about the last section? Purple. Why did I use purple here? Who's going to make the earth holy, clean, and new? When he returns, Christ will make the earth holy, clean, and new. And until that time, we can stand in holy places. I'm grateful for the temple. Okay, make your hands follow my hands. We'll start with a swish. Did Jesus really live again? Yes, when the third day came, he awakened and he left the tomb. He called Mary's name. Let's freeze. How many swishes did we do? First we did 4, and then we did 4 more. So that's 8. Okay, let's try that again. 4 swishes with actions in between. This is the sign for 3. We're combining it with the sign for day to make 3 days. Did Jesus really live again? Yes, when the third day came, he wakened and he left the tomb. He called Mary's name. Let's swish again. Did Jesus come to those he loved? Yes, people touched his feet. I'm pointing to my feet. And of the fish and honeycomb, he did truly eat. I need to turn my page here. Does anyone know the sign for Jesus? Take your middle finger and tap your palm, because that's where the nail prints in his palm were. And there were nail prints in his hands and a spear wound in his side. Did Jesus really live again after he had died? Oh yes. Thumb and pinky. And so shall I. Just like Jesus rose again, so shall I. Okay, we're going to sing this again. 8 swishes with some of the actions in between. Did Jesus really live again? Yes, when the third day came, he wakened and he left the tomb. He called Mary's name. Mary saw Jesus outside of the tomb. She is a witness that Jesus lives again. Did Jesus come to those he loved? Yes, people touched his feet. And of the fish and honeycomb, he did truly eat. Jesus visited his apostles and let them touch his hands and his feet, and he ate with them. And they are witnesses that Jesus was resurrected. Remember the sign for Jesus? And there were nail prints in his hands and a spear wound in his side. Did Jesus really live again after he had died? Oh yes, and so shall I. I have not seen or touched Jesus, but these witnesses did when he came to the Americas, and they knew that Jesus was resurrected. And even though I haven't touched him, I know that he lives and that we will be resurrected too. Thank you for singing. Okay, so there we go. About 15 minutes, 3 songs, including that lovely new Holy Places. I'm just loving that song. It's so beautiful.
So Laura, I have a hint. I noticed that all of your songs were memorized. So when we decided to do Holy Places, I had a really tough time. I listened to it and listened to it and listened to it. And finally, I made a chart and I put all the major things of it and I tried to put them in order. And I was struggling with it. And then I realized I was struggling with the melody a little bit. And so I made a melody map and tried to go up and down with the melody. This one's for the verse and this one's for the chorus. And then I circled the one that I was really struggling with because I would do something different instead of going ba 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 bum, and I just really struggled with it. So I had to do a lot of the things like we would teach the children in order to do it, in order to memorize it. And so, you know, moving to it is really good. Putting the words in order is really good. Doing this kind of stuff is really good.
That's how I came up with this. I was listening to it and drawing on a piece of paper squiggles, and then I used this squiggle map, and so I could kind of picture.
I really like that. I would love you to take a picture of that and maybe post.
Oh, sure. Sure, I will.
It's very, very good. I love that you have the dots where the you know, words need to go. So what my first hint is to memorize the song first in the ways that you would teach it to the children. Mix up the words and see if you can put them in order. Make a melody map, go up, make a squiggle map, do actions to it, do some kind of motion. This one is in 3. Da, 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 da. So you need to do some kind of actions in 3. And I think I have it. I sang it yesterday. I sang it this morning. I think I have it. I have a different word than you have, though. The temple is a holy place is what I thought it was, and you said quiet place. So I will have to figure that out.
Okay, we'll have to check.
Are you?
It might be
Are you
holy
sure? I don't
place.
know. Okay, what's one of your hints?
Okay, my first one is use singing time to sing. And it does talk about this in, our guidance in the handbook, that singing time is different from class time. And during singing time, children learn as they actively engage in singing. So a couple of things you can do to keep as much of the time possible for singing is I had my board ready to go. I had these behind. I had this up here. When we had 9 o'clock church, I would go early, but then at 10:30, I would miss the closing song. But I would still do as much as possible. In fact, like the tape on the back of these, I had it all taped onto like a piece of cardboard, and I brought that down here to this room in my basement, and then I could just set them all up really quickly on the wall. Um, I didn't use any items today, but if I had used, say ribbon wands for the map, or I had used pool noodles instead of my hands for the missionary song, you can have everybody putting them away as you're counting down, so there's a time limit. Otherwise, they'll take way too long. You can sing the song like I did. Let's sing the song as we go back to our seats. And then depend on the teachers in the room, the primary presidency. In my case, I had a co-music leader. We would depend on each other a lot. In fact, after 5.5 years of doing this, as soon as I said, would you like a pool noodle? And we'd start passing them out, my whole entire presidency would stand up and they would all be there. And I never even touched them. At the end, when we were done, they all went to the back of the room where they were, so I could just worry about what we were doing next. So use singing time to sing.
So I have another hint. My hint number 2 is how you view the children will help your singing go into the playful side of their brain. So if you see yourself as kind of, I'm in control, I'm a dictator, I'm giving you directions, it will go into the left side of the brain, which is not a playful side. And they will do better and remember better if you see the children as people who are going to play, but you need to play in meaningful ways. So children, will play and stuff, but when they organize together, especially at 6, 7, and 8, they have little rules for themselves in their playtime. You will be this, I will do this, you will do this. And because their brains work better if it's in a meaningful way. And so with her teaching, we wanted to find out, what the pattern was. We wanted to see the pictures. We wanted to do the meaningful things. So play with them, but in meaningful ways. That's my hint number 2.
I love that one. Primary is so playful and so joyful. So my hint number 2 is to help older children. The singing time I did today was probably almost exclusively something I would do with junior primary. This activity with Did Jesus Really Live Again would work. But for older children, they want to interact with the words. And you can find ways to do that without just writing every single word. I'm curious to know if anyone was able to sing along a little bit after being able to interact with, some of these key words. You can do an envelope game and an eraser pass. You can add words and put them in order. You can do a word sort kind of thing. I like to categorize words like I did here with temple and people and Jesus, and put them into the place that they go, and then the words will stick much better than if you just say, here are the words. Then you take them away the next week and they'll go, what are the words?
That's a great one. Okay, my number 3 is write out your plan. It's such a relief to the brain when the plan is written out and you kind of glance down at it, and you'll still get lost if you're like me, and you'll still sing the wrong words if you're like me. But the brain is relieved that someplace else has it written. I usually use colors. I thought, here's the manipulative in one color, here's the song in another color, here's the activity, and here's where I'm going next, so that I know where I'm going next. If you notice, Laura knew exactly where she was going. She went, this song, this song, this song. It was really nice. Good job.
Thank you.
Do you have another hint?
I think that was 5. So let's do
How about
your singing time.
one more hint, and then I'll do my singing time.
Okay, I'll do my one more hint. This one is learn and use the children's names. And this is hard because you're doing mental gymnastics up here, like trying to keep everything straight. And so if I point to someone and I say, just say, tell me your name again, I think that they feel better about that than say me just not even trying. On my first week in the calling, I did here we are together, and then different actions, and then stomp, whatever. And then we learned everybody's name. And then guess what? 2 years later, we had a bunch of new kids that had moved in. We did activity again because I needed to do it. I study in sacrament meeting. I'm going around looking at this family and going, okay, Bobby, Susie, Timmy, or as they're walking in the room, or when my co-music leader's teaching and it's not my week, I'm sitting there going, oh, what's that new kid again? And then I'm looking it up in tools. And ask your presidency for a list, but learn their names and try to use them. That's how
I think that's great. I mean, we just studied that, Joseph was in the grove and he knew Joseph's name. We just studied Emma. He knew Emma's name. He's calling the people by name, and I think we could too. Okay, you ready for a new sound time?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. When you look at these pictures, what do you see? What do you notice? What colors do you see? Can you see these pictures? I'm going to ask you what these pictures have to do with the song. But right now, can your hands follow my hand? Can you do this one? Work. Clean. Can you clean your hands? Clean. New. New. So do this one. The temple is a holy place where heaven touches earth. A reverent place, a hallowed space where we do the Savior's work. I'll stand in holy places with a heart that's firm and true until Christ returns and makes all the world holy, clean, and new. I'm going to test you. What is this sign? When I did that, what word did I say?
New.
New. New. When I did this sign, what word did I say?
Temple.
Temple. The temple is a holy place where heaven touches earth. Oh, heaven coming down to earth. Oh, heaven touches earth. A reverent place, a hallowed space where we do the Savior's work. What's this one?
Work.
I'll stand in holy places with a heart that's firm and true. This is true. Will you do true? It's coming out of your mouth and you're telling the truth. Heart that's firm and true until Christ returns and makes all the world holy. Uh-oh, what's the next one?
Clean.
Clean and new. Oh, you've got to remind me. You've got to do the signs. Holy, clean, and new. Okay, I would love to have everybody come up that knows how to do these signs. Oh, you don't know them yet? You need me to do them one more time? Okay, let's do them one more time, but we're going to do a little faster. The temple is a holy place where heaven touches earth. A reverent place, a hallowed space where we do the Savior's work. I'll stand in holy places with a heart that's firm and true until Christ returns and makes all the world holy, clean, and new. And then we come up and some people help me and we sing it one more time, and then don't sing the words. Ready? Just sing with your hands. That was fantastic. Underneath your chairs, you have some tambourines, but don't get them yet. And then here's the pattern. You got that? Pretend to hold one and do it with me. Good. Now go bump. Let's do it the other way. Bump, 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 bump. I want to be a missionary now. I don't want to wait until I'm grown. I want to share the gospel while I'm young, for I have a testimony of my own. What were the words when we were shaking the tambourine? Do you know? Own was one of them. Let's figure them out. I want to be a missionary now. I don't want to wait until I'm grown. I want to share the gospel while I'm young. Wow. Gospel while I'm young. That had 4 words. Gospel while I'm young, for I have a testimony of my own. Great job. But switch hands. Okay? Use your other hand. I want to be a missionary now. I don't want to wait until I'm grown. How did I do it? Did I do this first? I want to share the gospel while I'm young, and I have a testimony of my own. Did I do it wrong? I think I did. Will you help me with the pattern? Okay, was it this and then this and then this, and then we shake it? Oh, let's try it one more time. Ready? Help me out. I want to be a missionary now. I don't want to wait until I'm grown. I want to share the gospel while I'm young, for I have a testimony of my own. That was fantastic. Okay, I have a story for you. Chrissy just had a really bad thing happen. Her grandmother died. And it was awful because Chrissy was used to going over to Grandma's house, because they lived next door, over to Grandma's house and just talking to her. But she wasn't there anymore. And Chrissy had a hard time. So she went to her mom and said, "Did Jesus really live again?" And her mom said, "Yes, when the 3rd day came, he wakened and he left the tomb. He called Mary's name." "Oh," said Chrissy. "Okay, well, did other people see him too?" "Did Jesus come to those he loved?" "Yes, people touched his feet, and of the fish and honeycomb he did truly eat." "Well, how am I going to know about Jesus?" "Well, he's going to keep the nail prints in his hands." "And there were nail prints in his hands and a spear wound in his side. Did Jesus really live again after he had died?" "Oh, yes, and so shall I." Thank you for singing with me today. So 3 songs, and she's asking,
Yes.
when do you do the sign? Did you find out what it
Yes.
said?
When do you do the signs only? Oh, when you do them with no singing, do you omit the piano? I've done it both ways.
If I have a pianist who can play just the melody, the piano plays, because that does help the children who don't hear it in their head completely yet. Yes.
Yeah, they can track it.
But oftentimes when I'm doing the signs, you have to kind of think of what word. Oh, this means work. Okay, I'm doing that sign. And so it's a sign to the body and the mind that that's what word is coming up.
And along those lines, someone just commented that they liked that you showed a few signs before you started. Yeah. So it wasn't overwhelming. Here is every sign you have to know, but it just kind of gave them like a little clue of what they would need to do.
I always show about 3 to 4 signs. The brain can only hold 3 to 5 things in a cue, and unless you chunk them together, but these are different signs. So I only felt 3 to 4, at the most 5 if it's an older primary. So yeah. Do you have any hints for us?
Yes. Okay, so the next hint is allow the children to change their body position. If they're sitting for a long time, maybe the last time you sing through the song, stand up. If you're doing a body rhythm pattern, okay, now go with a partner somewhere in the room. Now a different partner, now a different partner. Their focus will improve. Their memory of what you're teaching them will improve. They'll be more engaged in learning because they're not having to sit for 20 minutes. And 20 minutes isn't long, but it's long enough, especially in junior primary. Other things you can do if you're passing out ribbon wands, I have them stand up and spread out on their row so they're not hitting their neighbor. You can have them come up to the front of the room. I think we both did that, invite kids to come up and demonstrate. But the old sharing time manual used to say every week, what will the children do to learn this? And I love that it always said do, not will. What will you do? What will the children do? So I like to incorporate that into my plan of how can I get them moving positions during this activity?
That's amazing. I know there's research that said they need to bend their major joints about
Mm.
once every 3 to 5 seconds. And so if you're not doing it for them, they will do it on their own.
Yes, poking or kicking the
Yeah,
kid in front of them.
yeah, totally. And another reason that that is so amazing is because, especially for younger children and some 7 and 8-year-olds, they don't know where their body is in space. And you will see that they will bump into somebody because they don't really know their body is right next to somebody else. They need to know where they are in space and where they are in the room. So turning them around, making them go to a different place, having them sit, having them stand, super, super helpful for the entire body. Way to go. What a good hint. Okay, so one of my hints is use the walking in time as a singing time review. So when I would come, I would leave. I always left before the closing song, and I was sad because I wanted to sing the closing song. But I got into the primary room, and it was almost immediately after the prayer. There was a child in the room, and I thought, how did you get here? We're at the complete opposite end of this chapel. And he came in. So, and then the others started coming in because they were racing him. So I would use that time to do something like what she was doing with us. What was it? Stomp, stomp,
The
clap, 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 clap.
missionary. Mhm.
I would go over a song that they already have done, but something they can do and move, because remember, they've been sitting for a long time. But use the walking in time as a review time, because the brain needs to review things or it dumps them. It says, oh, I don't need this anymore. I don't need it at the top of my memory. So we need to use that. Do you have any other walk-in hints?
We didn't really do a walk-in time in our primary for
But
whatever reason, but there
but you
are
do
lots to
review,
do. Yeah,
amazing review
yeah.
things.
And
So
I would try to fit in as many songs in 20 minutes as I could.
yes.
But I know a lot of you do, so I think that's a great way to use that extra time to do something they already know. You don't have to pass things out, just something that they can just immediately come in and
Yeah.
join.
One of the things that I have done is I put a poster on the board that said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, blank, 4, 1, blank, 3, 4, 1, 2, blank, blank. And then you have to clap whenever there's a number, and then not clap when there is a number gone. And then you have to sing the song as you're clapping and trying to get that number and go. It's a challenge. I would only use that for senior primary, though.
Yes.
Juniors would really have a tough
For
time with
junior,
that.
you could do something simple like you tap here several times in a row. Now here,
Yeah.
now here, now here.
Yes.
You could
Wonderful.
do something simple like your Hoberman sphere that expands the dynamics, or you could do
Exactly.
a song that has simple actions to add. Like I had actions for Missionary Now that were just simple.
Yeah.
Sometimes we would do, I'll tell you, sometimes we would do like Book of Mormon stories or books in the Book of Mormon, Latter-day Prophets, like a song like that is a walk-in song to review. You know, it's not something you're going to be doing the program, but the kids might
Right.
enjoy it.
I know a lot of people are doing Article of Faith songs. One of
Mm-hmm.
the ways to do it, we believe that man will be punished for his own sins and not for Adam's transgression and not for Adam's transgressions, which is just kind of a movement up with the song and down with the song and in one place for the song. But any kind of movement while you're singing the song will help the body engage and help the brain remember. Anyway, it's a really good thing. Okay,
Okay,
another hint.
another hint. This is my last one. Okay, the word audiation, I'll tell you what it means in a minute. Use audiation to invite singing every week. So audiation is kind of like thinking and language, but in music we audiate, we mentally hear the music so we can understand it and then produce it. You have to be able to hear the music in your head to sing it. So every week, give the children an opportunity to be able to sing something. It doesn't have to be every single word. Um, it could be the keywords. It could be when Sharla did her tambourine activity. Now, see if you can sing all the words on the shaking. And then they're thinking of the other words in their head. And if they miss two or three, it's okay because they only have to sing this one word. You can alternate lines. You can sing the words when you're doing a certain action, like when you're clapping, or you could invite them to sing the rhyming words, giving them something intentional to listen to. And then not only are they getting the songs into their minds and their hearts, but also their voices, which I think is really powerful. I think the Spirit can testify to us when we sing. And so I think that can be a really important part of our singing time.
So to add to that, I don't know if you remember Elder Kieran's talk where he said, this is the church of joy.
Oh, yes.
And that we need to show joy in our faces. And one of the things that he said, people think that reverence is this. And he sat there for about 3 seconds. Everybody in the audience laughed and he goes, but that's not the only way to show reverence. And that might be okay a little bit, but you need to do and engage and that kind of thing. And he in that same talk, he said, one of the ways to worship is to sing, 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 sing. And he quoted the Emma Smith section 25. So having them sing only this purposeful word and hear the rest in their heads is a powerful way to worship. Great hint. Okay, I have one more hint. So I don't know if you know, but novelty and variety really does release endorphins in our brain. So it is a church of joy if there's something that we can see that might be a little bit different. And so there's 3 ways to get variety, or probably more, but there's at least 3 ways that I'm going to suggest right now to get variety into your singing times. And one is when you do the 3 different songs, or even if you're only doing 2, contrast the songs. So you notice that we did a soft, gentle song with smooth, the temple is a holy place where heaven touches earth. That's smooth, gentle. And then because of that song and because of the kind of song that is, we chose I Want to Be a Missionary Now, which has a really strong beat and a contrast, because that kind of contrast releases endorphins in the brain. So contrast the songs. If you're going to do 3 songs, contrast the songs. And literally sometimes you can do 2 soft, gentle songs and 1 strong beat song, but you're just contrasting them. Number 2,
along those lines, when I did Jesus Really Live Again, I sing it fairly quickly. Did Jesus really live again? Because I did my fast song first, and then I did a slow Holy Places, and then I did Jesus Really Live Again at the end. So I sing it a little quicker than maybe I would perform it, but to give them that variety.
Contrast.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I loved your singing time. So contrast the songs. Second one is contrast the learning style of the activity. So if you're using movement to a steady beat for one of the songs, contrast it with something that's visually intriguing. Make a puzzle, do a picture reveal, something that's visually intriguing, or do something that's words, 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 like she said with the older primary. Put the words around the room, they gather them, put the words out of order, do an eraser pass, that kind of thing, so that you're contrasting the activity and the learning styles. And that will help the brain release endorphins again. And the third one, and you probably know from if you've seen some of the things that I do, but contrast the manipulatives. So scarves and paper plates and shakers and let me see another one. Rhythm wands can be smooth and gentle. So they, they love to have something that's different every time. And if you use these 4, you've got 4 different Sundays that you can use them. But if you're using a strong beat song, you might want to use something like rhythm sticks. I just have 2 pencils here where they're hitting them. The boys actually really like this, where they hit hard. You can get small little notebooks and make guiros. I often do. It's amazing how they can get the paint off of the pencils because they do it so hard.
And that makes a
But
really cool sound.
it does make a cool sound, and they really like it. And they like it that they can use this as a drum, and literally any kind of, you know, this kind of thing for a drum. And if you make that so they're not just drumming without thinking, so that they're stop, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's challenging to them, and they really, really like it. So 3 ways to contrast the songs from each other, contrast the learning activities from each other, and contrast the manipulatives. And one of the manipulatives really is your body. You know, we did it today, and using that, the body and mind and spirit thing is really, really strong. Elder Packer mentioned that your body is how you sense the spirit. It either enlightens your mind, it makes sense to you, you feel something, but the body is the receptacle. So I think we could take pictures of these 5 hints. She gave 5 and I gave 5, and put them up there. And I have a request, Laura.
Yes.
That you take a picture of your squiggle map.
Yes.
Because it's very
I
good
will.
for this song.
I will.
And we need to check whether it's a gentle place or a holy place. Because I don't know which one of us is right.
One other thought with variety and people around the room, I talked about changing where you sit around the room. So if I had not just done a partner activity where we were fisting together, and I needed a partner activity where they could interact, I would maybe do this on a small piece of paper and give it to groups and do it that way. So that's another way that you can think, oh, I saw this really good idea in the Facebook group, but I already have this, and so you can kind of vary them so that you have this contrast and not
activity.
Yeah.
Great idea. So would you do that partner activity with junior children?
No. Not
Okay.
even. No, I would maybe do the squiggle map, and you could use the magic crayon idea, where they're just tracing. I would not do words, maybe pictures, like a picture of a temple, a picture of the Savior, the earth, a couple pictures, but I had like 20 on here. That's way too many.
Because we want to make it accessible for the younger children. And they literally need to do things about 10 more times, you know, and if you're singing 4 or 5 times, that's only 2 Sundays. But they need to do it more than the older children need to do it, because they don't have as much experience with this earth life. So thank you for singing with us.
Thank you. We had so much fun.
I personally love the way Laura teaches primary and children and singing. And so I'm going to make a request. Oh, it's holy place.
Okay, I will have to fix that before I post the picture. Or we're going to have people all over the country and world learning it wrong.
So I'm going to personally request that maybe she do some more, and maybe you and I could do some more together. It was just very fun. Thank you for singing.
Thank you all. And thank you to everyone. We appreciate all you're doing and are just amazed by this group and everyone's ideas. And
yes,
you can watch this again later if you want to share it with a friend.
Yes.
Thank you for your time, Sharla. Bye.
Bye.